Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about the 63 clocking block chunk limit. This has been known for quite a while by many command block enthusiasts, but I was recently told about it and I couldn't find many videos online about it or explaining how it happens or anything like that, so I thought I'd make a video sort of showing what I've personally discovered about it, and I think people need to be aware of it basically, because it can be quite crippling. So I've got a fill clock here. All of these other clocks are just deactivated, so don't worry about them. If I go ahead and power this fill clock here, it is currently powering all of these command blocks around here. They don't actually have a command in. It just runs /s, which is unknown command. But there are currently in this chunk 63 clocking blocks. So what do I mean by clocking blocks? It is any command block that is next to a running fill clock and the actual fill clock blocks itself. So with all the redstone blocks inside that fill clock and all the command blocks, there are currently 63 clocking blocks in this chunk. So if I go ahead and press Alt F3, it brings up the debug screen with the frame rate graph. You can see I currently have around 240 frames per second and 0 chunk updates. That's in the top left, and my frame rate is in the bottom left, and it's alright. Most of the lag spikes are just due to recording, but if I go ahead and add just one more command block just to go over that 63 block limit, you can see that it all goes crazy. I suddenly have 260 chunk updates and my frame rate is going crazy, so much so that the frames per second has gone down to almost 150. And so it doesn't matter where I place that second command, that 64th clocking block, as soon as you go over that limit, it just all goes to hell basically. But as long as you're under that limit, there'll be 0 chunk updates once you let it stable out when you aren't moving. So yeah, so it can be quite devastating if you don't know what's causing it. I have a feeling I've done this on more than one occasion in a test world and had to delete it because I thought it was corrupted or something. So I'm going to disable this clock for now and move on to some of these other clocks here and sort of show off a few ways you can actually get around this. So here we have the actual fill clock running in this chunk, but we have this row of command blocks actually in this chunk. Now people have said that placing fill clocks across chunks is bad, but I haven't been able to come up with any proof that it is bad. Like, maybe if you have crossing more than a certain number of chunks, then I guess it is bad, but as long as they're in the spawn chunks, then they're always loaded anyway, so it should be fine. But what's interesting is that I've actually gone over 63 clocking blocks attached to this fill clock, but because these are in a separate chunk, it doesn't add up to the ones in this chunk. So because there's less than 63 clocking blocks in both chunks, it's still fine. So if I'll go ahead and disable that, and we'll move on to this. This is, again, there's less than 63 clocking blocks in each of these 3 chunks. I think it just goes over to this border. But if I add a single command block into this middle chunk here, then there will actually be more than 63 clocking blocks in this chunk. So if I do that, then the lag all starts happening again, and I get roughly 240 odd chunk updates, and my frames per second goes crazy. As soon as I remove that, it's absolutely fine. So you can see I can overcome those sort of last few command blocks by actually placing them in a different chunk, if you get what I mean by that. So one last demonstration over here, just to show you how it's not just the command blocks which are the problem. It's actually the fill clock that's also the problem. So if I go ahead and power this, you can see I definitely don't have 63 command blocks here, but because I have so many fill clock blocks running, if I just add a single one more, then I go over that limit again. And you can see I get loads of chunk updates and the frames per second goes crazy. So I don't know if this is actually a problem with Minecraft, or if it's actually a bug or just a limitation, and whether Mojang even knows about it, but I'm going to assume that they do. I might post a short Giphy on Reddit and see if someone from Mojang can comment on this and sort of explain why it happens, because I personally don't know why it does. I mean, it's not much of a problem if you're just doing little things, but if you're making whole big things with fill clocks, it's fine up to a certain point, and then as soon as you go past that point, it all just goes crazy. And I don't know, I always thought that it would be like a linear progression between how many command blocks there are and how laggy it is. But it is to an extent, but it's also got just a hard limit, it seems. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, make everyone aware of it, because I certainly wasn't. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.